Or a little bit of a Java 101 tutorial for you, just because a lot of people try to utilize my scripts that aren't coders. They may be security people, they may be system admins, they may be just the guy that runs the scanner in a lot of security institutions, and they may not be familiar with programming or any kind of working with files associated with programming. Java is kind of my language of choice. I don't even really consider myself a programmer, but I write a lot of scripts that help parse data, whether that be parsing Nessus data or Nmap data or patch link lamention or any kind of other security product. Java seems to be my language of choice. So, to give you a little tutorial on how to take the .java files I post on my website and execute them in a normal fashion, I thought I'd put together a little bit of a 101 tutorial because I get a lot of questions just on this beginning buffer part. That's just takes you from not ever using Java to actually executing a script. So the script we're going to be working with in this instance or this tutorial is the hello world. I got a little bit of code here that is the hello world application. If you're not familiar with programming, you might not be familiar with hello world, but basically it's a script that's just going to output to the screen hello world in this instance. You'll notice one thing about this bit of code, and I'm just showing, it simply is doing a system out, and pretty much anybody can take that from this code, is that the class is named hello world app. And that has to tie itself to the actual file name in Java. So you'll notice that my piece of Java is hello world app.java. You can't just simply rename a Java file. It needs to match for the compiling process. Why don't I compile my scripts? Well, basically because compiling your script is a little bit of system dependent and version dependent in Java, and I write my scripts to work with pretty much any version of Java or any system. But the benefit of doing this .java and giving you the source code is, one, you can trust the source code because you can see the source code, and two, because you're going to compile it for your version of Java and it'll work on your system versus my system. So, simple little tutorial there. The first application we're going to be working with, which is part of the Java Developers Kit, is Java C. And Java C is the compiler. You can tell if it's on your system just simply by typing Java C in a DOS prompt or a command prompt, whether you're using Linux or Mac or Windows. In this case, I'm on a Mac. And it'll give you all the flags associated with the compiling process in Java. Um, we have to take the .java file, which is just plain text-based source code, and turn that into a .class file in Java, which is the equivalent in Windows would be like a .exe or something like that. So basically, we're going to take uncompiled code and make it compiled code so we can actually execute that code and get out of it whatever the function is that it produces, in this case, hello world. So the first thing we're going to do is type Java C and the name of the app, and it's going to compile it. It's just going to come back and give a prompt. If there was an issue associated with it, you would see a string of errors, line numbers that the errors are on, all that kind of stuff, and you can tweak your source code. In this case, you're probably going to be taking somebody's scripts, one of my scripts or somebody else's, running a compile on it, and now you'll notice that we have a .class file, which is the executable version of this application in this instance. What you're going to need if you don't have Java C is you're going to need to go out and download the latest Java Developers Kit. You may have the Java runtime. You can tell if you have the Java runtime on your environment just simply by typing Java, but you're going to need the compiling part of it, which is the software that the developers use to turn a .java into a .class. So once you have your .class file, you're pretty much good to go in the instance of running a script. You can do that by typing the word Java, which is the runtime piece of this puzzle, and the name of the application, in this case, Hello World app. When you run that, in this case, we get back Hello World to the screen. We know our app is executing correctly. If there happen to be command line arguments or additional memory needs or anything for the application, the Java application supports that at the command line. You'll get a whole bunch more. If it was a GUI app, in the instance of Java, you get a pop-up and you would get the GUI. One thing that I see a lot of people doing, and we'll kind of cover this little bit of troubleshooting, is I do see a lot of people just run Java, and then they'll run the .java file, which is the source code, and you'll get an error and you'll go, I don't know what that means. This script's broken. Well, that's simply because you're trying to run uncompiled code, and it needs the compiled code to execute. So there's my Java 101 tutorial. Pretty simple, but it's a big step if you haven't worked with Java in the past. And that'll take, my applications or my scripts out there. convert them to executable files, and let you execute and start your parsing or processing. And I hope it works out for you. If you have any questions, feel free to send them to me via email or post them off of one of the posts if you have a particular question with one of the scripts that I've produced. But hopefully this helps everybody get the jump start of basically Java 101. How do I take that downloaded file that I got, compile it, and execute it so it does its function? And there you go. Hope you enjoy it, folks. Take it easy.